Hello, good day. I am Kadyata Ryan, a criminology student. Today, together with my groupmate, namely Rosalita John Vincent, Sasan Binji, Arya Sarayan, and Rehes de Benbon, we are going to discuss the various threats to environmental well-being. Now, what are the threats to environmental well-being? We have 9. First, the climate change, depollution, deforestation, global warming, ocean acidification, loss of biodiversity, overpopulation, ozone layer depletion, and lastly, the waste or garbage disposal. First, let's talk about the climate change. What is climate change? Climate change, generally defined, is a significant variation of average weather condition like becoming warmer weather or drier. Climate change kuno mo ni itong mga nasinati karon nga mga grabing kainit, grabing katugnaw, mga pag-uwan-uwan. It is the longer term trends that differentiate climate change from natural weather variability. Another definition of climate change is a change in the pattern of weather and related changes in ocean, land surfaces, and ice sheets occurring over time scales of decades or longer. Climate change manifests itself in myriad ways and experienced by every living being, although not equally. Now, what causes climate change? Ay lain pa mga human activities. Human activity is the main cause of climate change. People burn fossil fuels and convert lands from forests to agriculture. Burning fossil fuels produce tawag na to carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas. It is called a greenhouse gas because it produces greenhouse effect. Now, we have a short video discussing the causes and effect of climate change made by the National Geographic.
Human activities, from pollution to overpopulation, are driving up the Earth's temperature and fundamentally changing the world around us. The main cause is a phenomenon known as the greenhouse effect. Gases in the atmosphere, such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and chlorofluorocarbons, let the sun's light in, but keep some of the heat from escaping, like the glass walls of a greenhouse. The more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the more heat gets trapped, strengthening the greenhouse effect and increasing the Earth's temperature. Human activities, like the burning of fossil fuels, have increased the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere by more than a third since the Industrial Revolution. The rapid increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has warmed the planet at an alarming rate. While Earth's climate has fluctuated in the past, atmospheric carbon dioxide hasn't reached today's levels in hundreds of thousands of years. Climate change has consequences for our oceans, our weather, our food sources, and our health. Ice sheets, such as Greenland and Antarctica, are melting. The extra water that was once held in glaciers causes sea levels to rise and spills out of the oceans, flooding coastal regions. Warmer temperatures also make weather more extreme. This means not only more intense major storms, floods, and heavy snowfall, but also longer and more frequent droughts. These changes in weather pose challenges. Growing crops becomes more difficult. The areas where plants and animals can live shift, and water supplies are diminished. In addition to creating new agricultural challenges, climate change can directly affect people's physical health. In urban areas, the warmer atmosphere creates an environment that traps and increases the amount of smog. This is because smog contains ozone particles, which increase rapidly at higher temperatures. Exposure to higher levels of smog can cause health problems such as asthma, heart disease, and lung cancer. While the rapid rate of climate change is caused by humans, humans are also the ones who can combat it. If we work to replace fossil fuels with renewable energy sources like solar and wind, which don't produce greenhouse gas emissions, we might still be able to prevent some of the worst effects of climate change.
Okay. Now, the another threat of to the environmental well-being is the pollution. Now, what is pollution? Pollution is the introduction of harmful materials into environment. These harmful materials are called pollutants. Now, pollution daw is kanang mga harmful materials ni gipanglabay nato dira sa mga environment. For example, mga chemicals baron, mga patay lawas sa animals, mga garbages or waste nga makakos og pollution mo gitawag sa siya mga pollutants. Now, pollution can be natural such as volcanic ash, cause unique pollution ang volcanic ash. It can also be created by human activities such as trash or runoff produced by factories. Pollutants damage the quality of air, water, and land. Now, the three major types of pollution. We have the air pollution, the water pollution, and lastly, the land pollution. Now, next is the deforestation. What is deforestation? May lain pa nga ng pagpamutulak tog mga kahoy dira sa atong kabukiran para sa atong nga personal interest, pari anang agriculture nga paghuhimo tog mga balay gamit para sa balay kanang pagpamuhi na tog mga animals dira sa forest. Now, deforestation refers to the decrease in the forest areas across the world that are lost for other uses such as itawag ganiyag agriculture, croplands, urbanization, or mining activities. Now, what causes deforestation? Deforestation can cause either be direct or indirect. Some ni mga direct causes tawag to natural causes such as hurricanes, fire, parasites, and floods. Sama sa ni mga indirect causes so gitawag na to human activities, agriculture expansion, cattle breeding, timber extraction, mining, oil extraction, dam construction, and infrastructure development. Now, we have another video discussing the facts of deforestation, its causes and effects, made by Life Science. Okay, next. This is a video made by Rosalita Jan Vincent discussing the deforestation. Okay, next we have the global warming. What is global warming? Global warming is the long-term heating of Earth climate system observed since the pre-industrial period between 1850 and 1900 due to human activities, primarily fossil fuel burning, which increases heat-trapping greenhouse gas levels in Earth's atmosphere. Now, what is the effects of global warming? First, the temperature rises, the water shortage, the increase of fire threats, the drought, the wind and pest invasion, and lastly, the intense storm damage. Now, this is a video made by Rosalita John Vincent discussing the climate change, warming rather.
A gradual increase in the overall temperature of the greenhouse effect caused by increased level of carbon dioxide, chlorofluorocarbon, and other pollutants. It's one of the most current and widely discussed factors. It has far-reaching impact on biodiversity and climatic condition of the planet. Several current trends clearly demonstrate that global warming is directly impacting rising sea level, that melting of the ice caps, and significant worldwide climate change. In short, global warming represents a fundamental threat to all living things on Earth. Rules and actions should be taken to reduce global warming effects such as reduced carbon dioxide emission, managing forest and agriculture, and implementation of law. Greenhouse effect. The warming of Earth's atmosphere will build up heat-trapping gases. Greenhouse gases. First, CO2, methane, and chlorofluorocarbon. Although the greenhouse effect is a natural process that warms the Earth's surface, the absorbed energy warms the atmosphere and the surface of the Earth. This process maintains the Earth's temperature at around 33 degrees Celsius, warmer than it would otherwise be, allowing life on Earth to exist.
Okay, next we have Sasan Binji. He will discuss the ocean acidification.
Ocean acidification. Ocean acidification reduces the amount of carbonate, a key building block in seawater. This makes it more difficult for marine organisms, such as coral and some plankton, to form their shells and skeletons, and system shells will begin dissolving. Effects of ocean acidification. Ocean acidification will also affect the psychology and water-breathing animals. by increasing acidity in the tissues and body fluids. This can cause long-term effects of metabolic functions, growth and reproductions, and 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 the next is loss of loss of biodiversity. Loss of biodiversity refers to the decline or disappearance of biological diversity, understood as the variety of living things that inhabit the planet. Its different degree of biological organization and their respective genetic variability, as well as the natural pattern present in ecosystem. Effects of loss of biodiversity. These ecological these ecological effects of biodiversity in turns are affected by both climate change through enhanced greenhouse gases uh, and loss of land cover and biological diversity, causing a rapid loss of biodiversity and extinction of species and local population.
Okay, we have the overpopulation. We have Arias Ryan. He will discuss this topic.
Hi, for now I'm going to report the two topics of research. First is the overpopulation. Overpopulation or overabundance occurs when a species population becomes so large that it is deemed exceeding the carrying capacity and must be actively intervened. It can result from an increase in birds and fertility rate. What is the effects of overpopulation? The effects of overpopulation: more people means an increase demand for food, water, housing, energy, healthcare, transportation, and more. Unknown consumption contributes to ecological degradation, increased conflicts, and higher risk large-scale disaster like pandemics. Second is the ozone layer depletion. Ozone layer depletion, gradual thinning of Earth's ozone layer in the upper atmosphere caused by release of chemical compounds containing gaseous chlorine or bromine from industry and other human activities. Some effects of ozone layer depletion can increase UV radiation levels and the Earth's surface, which is damaging to human health. Negative effects includes increase of certain types of skin cancer, eye cataracts, and immune deficiency. And how to prevent ozone layer depletion? First is to avoid consumption of dangerous gases or ozone layer. It is dangerous to ozone layer. Second is minimize of used cars. Third is do not buy cleaning products that is harmful to environment. The last is buy local products.
Okay. Lastly, we have Rehes Devonpon. He'll discuss the garbage or waste.
Okay, so garbage or waste. Garbage is unwanted materials and objects that people have thrown away. It is often also called trash, garbage, rubbish, or junk. Garbage is the waste we produce daily in our homes, including old or unwanted food, chemical substances, paper, broken furniture, used containers, and other things. So, there are four sources of waste: industrial waste, commercial waste, domestic waste, agricultural waste. So, first, what is industrial waste? These are the waste created in factories and industries. Most industries dump their waste in rivers and seas, which cause a lot of pollution. An example of industrial waste: plastic, glass, and etc. Second, commercial waste. Commercial waste are produced in schools, colleges, shops, and offices. Example: plastic, paper, and etc. Third, domestic waste. What is domestic waste? Domestic waste, different household waste which are collected during household activities like cooking, cleaning, and etc. These are known as domestic waste. Example: leaves, vegetable peels, excrete, and etc. And last, agricultural waste. Agricultural waste, various waste produced in the agricultural field are known as agricultural waste. Example: cattle waste, weed, hash, and etc. So, commonly waste is classified into two types of biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. So, biodegradable waste, these are the waste that come from our kitchen, and it includes food remains, garden waste, and etc. Biodegradable waste is also known as moist waste. This can be composted to obtain manure. Biodegradable waste decompose themselves over a period of time depending on the material. So, non-biodegradable waste, these are the waste which include old newspapers, broken glass pieces, plastics, and etc. So, non-biodegradable waste is known as dry waste. Dry waste can be recycled and can be reused. Non-biodegradable waste do not decompose by themselves and hence are major pollutants. So, that's all.
And I think that's all. Thank you.